Let's see. It says 11:31 on my computer. It says 11:30 on my phone. So I'm going to go with I hit it at 11:30. So yay. Welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows. I am Dylan. This is episode 653, Great Balls of Fire. It is Saturday, March 28th, 2026, the last episode in March. Yep, we're at that point again. I will not be doing another episode in March until 2027. So that gets interesting. Easter is next weekend. So we've got Holy Week coming up. Palm Sunday is tomorrow. So we got all kinds of interesting stuff. But we also got other cool stuff going on. It doesn't feel like it because of the way of the world right now. But this July 4th will be the 250th anniversary of the United States, if we're still around, hopefully. And they're already celebrating early. Arizona is releasing a 7-Eleven only available Liberty Lemonade, which has tart cherry, juicy berries, and lemon ice flavored juice cocktail. I've been hearing about this. I've been thinking about it, found it today, and we're going to give it a try. It's okay. It's like fruity lemonade. It's good, refreshing. It's a good, refreshing drink. So I'd probably buy it again and drink it. Sure. Yeah, there's a big cherry aspect to it, but yeah, it's like a cherry, blueberry, not blueberry, it's just juicy berries. So it could be any type of berries, lemonade. So pretty good. I found another one. I think last year's July 4th one was also a 7-Eleven exclusive, which was like a Rocket Pop one. I found that also. Bought that. Plus, I have a blue cherry Gatorade, which I had on Friday, which I really liked. I found it there again, too. So 7-Eleven's got the good stuff. Yeah, it is. So it's a brand new episode. Dylan Knows. It's episode 653, Great Balls of Fire. All the meteors that have been sighted. This is the highest amount of fireballs that have been seen in daytime most of the time in the United States in forever. No one's actually sure why, but there's been at least 8 to 10 all across the country over the last few weeks. Nobody knows what's going on. They're just singular fireballs, not like they are meteor showers or anything like that. They're just singular fireballs, so nobody knows what's going on. Now, it also doesn't help that some of our scientific research groups are not getting funded, so they're not being able to investigate these, see what the big deal is. But it's just kind of weird. You throw on top of that, a bunch of earthquakes hit this week also in Pacific Rim. Pretty decent sized ones as well. And then a bunch of crows were seen flying around Tel Aviv, which in ancient times was a bad omen sign. So don't know what the world is telling us right now. Not a bad omen. Today was the third No Kings protest against the pedophile in office right now. And it was even bigger than the one back in October. Close to 8 to 9 million people out there. And it was great. The radar, one of the weather people showed the radar of the United States, and there was not a cloud in the sky. So everywhere you went, there was no bad weather. It might have been chilly or hot, depending where you were, but there was no rain or snow or clouds. It was all clear and sunny sort of days. So it's almost as if we're being shined on by your God, Republicans. So maybe get in line and figure out what's going on here. This week also was Maryland Day, which was on the 25th, which was when Maryland was created, I believe, not when they entered the Union, when it was created. It was also opening day for the Baltimore Orioles and for all of Major League Baseball. The Orioles won their opening day game 2-1. They lost their second game today 4-1. So not a lot of offense lately, but we'll see what happens. The rubber matches tomorrow. It was also my sister's birthday this week on Saturday, and my father-in-law's birthday was this past Sunday as well. Was an okay week. My daughter came home very briefly because her high school was doing their musical this weekend. It's a Little Shop of Horrors, and she worked on the musical the last 4 years and wanted to go back and see it and see her friends from the last 4 years and just see how it goes to support her old high school. So she went and saw it Friday. So I had to get her at school and bring her up here. She spent the night at a friend's house. And then I picked her up. And then her boyfriend wanted to go see it today. So they went to see it. And he's just going to take her straight back to her dorm. So we won't see her again until next weekend, where she will be getting, I just had it in my head. God damn it. A religious thing. What is she? She's, I just got, I talked about it last. Confirmation. She's going to be getting confirmed on Saturday, which is Easter Saturday. So we'll see her again next weekend. I have a 4-day work week this week. We're off Good Friday, which is on Friday. And then Easter is next Sunday. So 1 week from, in about 1 week and a day. So we got that coming up. So I got to start working on getting stuff for Easter baskets. It's Holy Week. So Palm Sunday starts tomorrow. Palm Sunday, I think I've talked about this every year. It's one of the coolest religious things, which is weird, though. They do the Passion of the Christ on this day instead of on the Good Friday. So basically, the Palm Sunday Mass, you get your palms, obviously, and you get the water sprayed on you also. And instead of just a regular routine Mass, you get that, but you also do the whole entire Passion of the Christ is read by 3 different people. So that's kind of interesting. And then at the end of the Mass, it begins Holy Week. And to start it off, they cut off all music, and all they have is a drum beat as everybody walks out, which basically is introducing the beginning of the end. So pretty cool. So that's coming up this week. So I got a 4-day work week. My daughter's getting confirmed on Saturday, and then we have Easter Sunday, and then we're back to normal after that. So it could be an interesting week. So we'll see what happens. So that's the big stuff going on right now. Temperatures are jumping up and down as they always do in this area. Okay. 46 degrees right now, 57 tomorrow, 66 Monday, 77 Tuesday, 74 Wednesday, 56 Thursday, 64 Friday, 69 Saturday, 67 Sunday, 52 Monday. So actually it's a lot better than it was. Last week it had a lot more up and down in the cold and warm weather, but that seems to be a bit more normal. So good on that as well. So what do we got going this week? Some interesting trailers, some casting, some new drinks, some new ice cream, some new cereal stuff. So some interesting stuff here. So here we go. Starfleet Academy has been canceled after its 2nd season. Not too surprising once Paramount gained Warner Brothers and is run by the Nazi fascists. They were getting rid of that. They also, once they got the rights to Warner Brothers, they also owned CBS. CBS canceled a bunch of shows that had people of color leading the cast members. So obviously you can see where this is going and where we've been so adamant about why we were so happy Netflix bought them, because they weren't going to pull this shit. But all you guys hated on Netflix for doing that and kind of were secretly hoping that they lost it. So then Paramount, being run by fascist rapists who just don't take no for an answer, kept pushing and pushing until it was just too much for Netflix, and they gave up, and you all cheered, and then you're realizing, oh, wait, we're fucked even worse. Yes, you are, because you're stupid. But yeah, Starfleet Academy was the most diverse Star Trek show in a long time. And Paramount said, fuck that diversity. We're going to do something straight up more cowboys, all white people, no aliens, sort of bullshit. And we're just going to take over all these planets and shit. I guarantee it's what's going to be coming next. So great. On the flip side, Disney Plus revealed the Punisher one shot, was now titled One More Kill, set to debut May 12th. It is 1 hour too, and about 2 months before Spider-Man Brand New Day. So give you plenty of time to get caught up on what the Punisher's doing at Disney, on the Disney side of MCU. And if it goes well, I would not be surprised if we see a Punisher series down the line. Animal Friends, which I don't even remember hearing much about, with Ryan Reynolds and Jason. I think I heard a little bit of Jason Momoa voicing the characters, has been moved from June 2026 to January 2027 release time. No reason given, so that's not really usually a good sign, going from a summer window to early or to a winter window after all the holidays and stuff have come by. It just doesn't seem like very good. AMC has canceled Talamasca, The Secret Order, which was one of their Anne Rice shows. So they no longer have 3 Anne Rice shows. They only have 2 now, the Witching one and the Vampire Lestat one, which are doing pretty good. So they're going to keep up with those. John Hannah has officially rejoined The Mummy. He will be starring in The Mummy 4 with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. I think Oded Fehr was also signed on, but I did not see the official listing. John Hannah is officially on board. Sean Hayes is joining an already stacked cast of the 5th season of The Morning Show, so he'll be coming on there as well. Tommy Karate, which is a passion project of Pete Davidson's, is finally underway. Pete Davidson is going to be starring in it along with Paul Walter Hauser, Camila Mendez, Simon Rex, Justin Chen. That's about a notorious mafia killer who uses martial arts, and Davidson will be playing the main character. Apparatus casts Dylan O'Brien and Hudson Williams in the roles, so it's a sci-fi film coming up soon. Hard cider / soda is making a big foray into summer drinks. Popsicle brand hard soda, Firecracker ice pop hard soda, and Turkey Hill hard iced tea and lemonade are all due out this summer. The hard being about 5% alcohol content. We got our first look at Michael Fassbender as Joe Kennedy for Netflix show Kennedy, which is what they're going to be trying to do with Kennedy, what they did with The Crown. The Crown was the whole history of Queen Elizabeth from her birth to her death. It looks like they're going to try to do the same thing with Kennedy, do it from the whole Kennedy aspect, how it started to how it is going right now. Could be interesting. So we got our first look at Michael Fassbender. Also stars Patrick Fischler from Mulholland Drive, Caitlin Fitzgerald, Dennis O'Hare, Eddie Marson, Imogen Poots, Joshua Melman, Lainey Donnelly, and Nick Robinson as well. And we'll probably have, if it is successful and keeps going for multiple seasons, we'll start seeing more about JFK. So we'll probably get a decent actor to be JFK, and then we'll get a decent actor to play RFK, and then Teddy, and then all the stuff that's been happening since then. So we'll see where it actually goes and how successful it is. So we'll see. I talked about the fireballs, earthquakes, and the crows flying over Tel Aviv. I forgot about the red fog that also attached itself to Western Australia. It was due to dust being blown around due to a typhoon coming towards them, but it still looked like a post-apocalyptic world. Speaking of Australia, a 65-ton Super Mario Galaxy sand sculpture has appeared on Australian beach. Looks pretty decent. Stop That Train, a comedy with Sarah Michelle Gellar and RuPaul as the President of the United States, gets its first trailer. I really didn't take a look at it. It looks funny, though. The Oscars are set to move from the Dolby Theater in 2029 when it goes to YouTube to the LA Live downtown. So we'll see how that actually turns out. Wonder Man gets a second season from Disney Plus. Vanessa Kirby and Taya Abdul Mateen II will star in Liminal from Louis Leterrier, sci-fi thriller. Hamish Patel, who was in the great movie Yesterday, has joined the cast of the X-Files reboot from Ryan Coogler, along with Danielle Deadwyler. So they will be playing the Mulder and Scully of this new version. And Glenn Powell will be the voice of Fox McCloud, a rumored that he was going to appear in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which debuts on Wednesday. He has come out and said that, yes, I am, and I'll be voicing it. So I'll get. I wanted to talk about this separately because this has become one of my top films now of the summer films to watch this year. I will be doing my summer movie preview probably sooner than later. It's usually right before May, so near the end of April, probably I will be doing that. So about a month away or so, I'll be doing my summer movie preview. And we got our usual stuff, Devil Wears Prada 2 and Supergirl and Mandalorian and Grogu and Odyssey and Spider-Man Brand New Day. And there's a few other ones in there I probably missed as well. But we've been hearing the talk about this movie called Flower Vale Road, which was going to star Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor in some sort of thriller. And then it was rumored to be a dinosaur thriller. And then it underwent a name change. It is now officially called The End of Oak Street. And we got our first trailer for it. And damn, does this movie look good. That's from the director of It Follows. And it will basically, it's about a neighborhood on this Oak Street that gets moved, apparently. We don't know how or where, because it's going to be answered in the movie, to what appears to be a jungle in the past where dinosaurs live, and dinosaurs start attacking people in the neighborhood. And we see all that in the trailer. And we see, Ewan McGregor's in it also. And the way Anne Hathaway says moved is going to chill you in the trailer. It's like our whole neighborhood has moved. It's just a brilliant way of how she did it. They have 2 kids together, so they're all going to be together. So it looks good. It looks like it's top of my list. Not top of my list. It's up there. It's in the top 3 to 5 I want to watch probably this summer. That might actually be sooner closer up there. Devil Wears Prada, Supergirl, and then maybe this one. Nope, Spider-Man and Odyssey's in there. So it's like top 5, top 7. It's set to debut August 14th. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. The End of Elm Street. Archaeologists have found the remains of D'Artagnan, one of the 3 Musketeers, apparently, they believe, which is pretty interesting. And Massachusetts has become the 4th state to ban elective cat declawing, which is great. So you can't just say, you know what, I feel like getting my cat declawed, because that's just mean. Anniversaries, I talked about this already just now. It Follows debuted 12 years ago this week. Scooby-Doo 2 with Sarah Michelle Gellar, who I also talked about already, debuted 22 years ago this week. Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, debuted 2 years ago this week. And Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds debuted 63 years ago this week. Deaths, this one hits hard, not as hard as some other ones, but James Tolkien passed away this week. You remember him mostly as Vice Principal Strickland, or Principal Strickland, not sure exactly who it was. He's Principal Strickland or whatever, from the Back to the Future movies. He was also a character actor who was in War Games, Top Gun, a bunch of other stuff. But the one that really hurts is he's one of our fellow June 20th birthdays. He was born on June 20th as well as I was. So losing him, we lose another one. We've lost a couple lately. So we'll find out. But here is his the roles he's done before. They Might Be Giants, Serpico, The Amityville Horror, Wolfen, Author, War Games, Iceman, The River, Turk 182, Back to the Future, of course, all those movies, Top Gun, Armed and Dangerous, Masters of the Universe, the original one, Second Sight, Family Business, Opportunity Knocks, Dick Tracy, he was in Dick Tracy also, Problem Child 2, Boiling Point, Underworld, and Bone Tomahawk. Television, did a lot of minor stuff. Did 5 episodes of Remington Steele, 13 episodes of Mary, never heard of that before, was an episode of Miami Vice and The Equalizer. Episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Tales from the Crypt also. The Hat Squad. The Wonder Years, he did an episode. Cobra, don't know that, but he was in 22 episodes of that. Nowhere Man did an episode. Early Edition, he did an episode. Nero Wolf, he did 14 episodes. He was an episode of Leverage, the original one. So there we go. So that is James Tolkien's legacy. But most importantly, he was a June 20th baby, and that hurts. Yeah, if I'm still around, or if it's still around in the summertime, I'll definitely get some more of that. All right. Barrett Robbins, a Raiders center, died at the age of 52. Jeff Simeon, a linebacker for the Vikings, also died this week as well. Next page. This is kind of interesting. So, April 1st, as far as we know right now, it depends on the weather and technical issues, stuff like that, but the Artemis 2 mission, which will send people to the moon again. They're not landing there this time, but they're going to be doing the test again to see if they can send people to the moon again. It'll be doing an orbit of the moon and then coming back to the Earth. And then eventually the plan is for one of the Artemises to land on the moon, land people on the moon again. But this is the first test to see if people can go out to the moon and back again. So people are really, really excited about it, and it's set to launch on April 1st. So in order to celebrate, Krispy Kreme is releasing the first of 3 of their special donuts. They do these a lot, which is why Krispy Kreme is great. I guess they couldn't just keep doing their usual stuff because it gets boring after a while. You got to change some stuff up. So they've been doing that really good, and they're doing it again now. So the first of 3, they're doing a special Artemis 2 donut, which is only available from March 31st through April 2nd, so very limited a time. It is an original glazed donut dipped in blue vanilla icing, sprinkled with Oreo crunch pieces, white nonpareils, a cookies and cream flavored buttercream dollop, and that's topped with a red sort of icing thing. So it's definitely is going to be a very, very sweet donut. And it's very cool that they're doing it in honor of the Artemis 2 spaceship. I can't read that. Unchained, whatever. It's a Netflix religious psychological thriller set to debut April 21st. Unclean, I think, maybe. The Comebackers, Tom Hanks, is set to star in a new baseball movie. He will not be playing baseball in this one. He will be playing a down on his luck reporter who discovers a player who wants to come back and has the hell of a comeback. So he follows his career and reignites his career as well. Man on Fire, we get our first trailer for that, set to debut on April 30th. Dexter Resurrection Season 2 starts filming April 13th. They're looking for an October 2026 debut. Running Point Season 2 trailer. The basketball series with Kate Hudson gets a first new trailer, and that's set to debut April 23rd. This kind of thing, super stuffed Pop-Tarts. It's regular Pop-Tarts, but they're now going to be double the size of the filling, and they're 3 different flavors. One is a strawberry one is a chocolate lava cake one, and one is a cinnamon caramel one. So they all sound good, and looking forward to those. But they are super stuffed Pop-Tarts, so there's more filling inside than there is now. Also, Eggo flavored syrups are due out. Lots of fruit flavored syrups are coming out here from Eggo. They've got a series of about 6 of them, so that's pretty good. Cotton Candy Lucky Charms and Root Beer Float Cinnamon Toast Crunch are 2 new cereals debuting here soon. And McCormick continues their finishing sugars with a new black currant flavor. So good on that as well. That's it for the food, I think. Yep. Sonia Walger has been cast in God of War as Freya. Resident Evil reboot has finished filming, so that's set for release later this year, so it should make its window. We got a new trailer for the Stranger Things cartoon, set to debut April 23rd. They did more with the voice cast. You hear more about the voices. They actually got pretty good people who sound like the characters from the show, because the regular actors are not doing the voices. But they've got decent people covering them, which is really, really good. Dua Lipa is set to join the TV show Peaked. 30 Days of Night is set to get a 4K transfer, which is good. Snoop Dogg is making a movie. He's joining a movie called God of the Rodeo. Annie Hathaway, Alan Tudyk, The Rock, the Jonas Brothers, and Lin-Manuel Miranda have all been awarded the Disney Legends name. They'll probably do a show which will honor all of them coming up. Good on that. So, a couple years ago, DreamWorks released an animated film called The Wild Robot. And when I first saw the trailer, I hadn't heard a darn thing about it. I don't think I even mentioned it on this show till I saw the trailer. The trailer was amazing. And the movie came out and did very, very well for DreamWorks Animation. And I didn't catch it in the theaters. I had to wait till it came on Netflix. And I watched it last year, I think. It might have been last year. Yeah, I think last year I watched it last year. And it was brilliant. It was as good as I thought it would be. And then they did the same thing again this year. I was not expecting it. I was going through my Facebook page like I always do, and I come across a trailer for a new animated film from DreamWorks called Forgotten Island. It's a debut in September, much as The Wild Robot did. And it looks phenomenal also. I was like, wow. It's about two best friends who get transported to this forgotten island with all kinds of weird creatures and stuff like that, and weird things start to happen, and they begin to lose their connection to each other somehow. So it looks really good, and it's going to be one of these things that's probably going to do Wild Robot numbers, because they're doing the same playbook, and it worked the last time, so it should work here too. Deep Water trailer. Rennie Harlan returns with a new shark movie set to debut May 1st. Typical setup for a shark film. Airplane full of people, crash lands in the middle of the ocean, and sharks invade and start attacking the people, and there you have to survive. That's the movie. Fans of the movie Halloween have just gotten the Guinness World Record for the largest Michael Myers gathering. So they all gathered together, all in Michael Myers masks, and they reached the point, and now they're in the Guinness Book of World Records. So congratulations to them. So the directors of Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Daniels, as they're named, have been quiet for the last couple of years. We don't know. They haven't done anything since they won the Oscars, and the movie won Best Picture. So people have been waiting to find out what they're working on. Well, we still don't know what they're working on, but we know that they're going to be getting onto it very soon because they've cast their first actor. It's an actor who right now is having quite a time, and proof that, you just keep building a steady career. Eventually things are going to break open for you. Ryan Gosling has signed on to be the lead in the Daniels new movie. Now, Ryan Gosling has a certified hit with Project Hail Mary. We'll talk about the numbers on that in a little bit. So he's got the Star Wars movie Starfighter coming out next year, which is going to be another huge hit. Fall Guy came out last year. We're supposed to sort of skyrocket him, but it didn't quite work. But it still was a decent step towards where he is now. And then he did Barbie, which was a really big deal for him too. And he'd done a bunch of smaller films and ones that didn't get seen, with the Blade Runner movie and a few other ones as well. And did a bunch of films with Emma Stone. So he was always around, but was never like that big guy. Now with Project Hail Mary, with Barbie, with the upcoming Star Wars movie next year, and now with this movie, he is having himself quite a time. And it just goes to show you, you just quietly build your career. Eventually things will break your way and you're set. So congratulations to him. Adam Sandler joins Willem Dafoe, Gabby Hoffman, Steve Zahn in a movie called Time Out for Netflix. Damson Idris is set to join the movie The Lord's Day for Netflix also. Shioli Katsuni has joined the Gundam movie on Netflix with Sydney Sweeney. Portland and Toronto are getting WNBA expansion teams, so that's good on them. Congratulations. Ella Purnell is joining the cast of The Return of Stanley Atwell. So she's still working when she's not working on Fallout. Anniversaries. 2 years ago this week, the Francis Scott Key Bridge here in Maryland was hit by a boat and collapsed. It is now presently being worked on and getting rebuilt. Will not be open again probably till 2030, but it is getting worked on right now. The Money Pit with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long debuted 40 years ago this week. Death's Dash Crofts from the band Seals and Crofts with Summer Breeze is their most popular song, passed away at the age of 85 this week. Ted Nichols, a composer for cartoons including Scooby-Doo, passed away this week as well. Jeff Webb, a cheerleading icon and Charlie Kirk lover, yay, dies in a pickleball accident, of all things. And there's that. What? Oh, I already talked about that. Boom. Shane Black and Joel Silver are now working on the live-action version of The Executioner. I guess that's a comic book. I'd never heard of it before. But when they did the article, it looks like a comic book art. So they're working on that. The other big trailer that came out this week is we got our first look and our first trailer of the new Harry Potter TV series. We got to look at some of the characters, the setup. There are some scenes that were not in the book that they added for length, of course, and just a whole and some views of a bunch of characters, including the poltergeist. I forget what his name is right now, who was cut from the movies. Will be making his appearance here too, and we get views of everybody else in there. They look fine. They sound fine. It seems too early to do a rebooting of the Harry Potter stuff. Plus, with the whole J.K. Rowling stuff, it's a little rough. But it looks decent enough, though. The color has been sucked out of it. It looks like it's just sort of a dull sort of look to things. And someone brought up a problematic thing. I have no problem with casting other races and other people in roles, and everybody's freaking out about Severus Snape being a black man. But someone did come up with a problematic thing where in the first book, they're suspecting that Severus Snape is the one who's causing all the problems in Hogwarts. And now you've added the thing where he's black. So you're like, why do you think Severus Snape is the one who's causing all these issues? And they look over and it's a black man. It was like, because he's black. Of course, he's causing all kinds of issues. I don't know if that was done deliberately or what. So that's a little bit problematic. Again, looks fine. Again, they added scenes because they need to. They added scenes of him in the Muggle school. They added scenes of his aunt cutting his hair. So we'll see what happens. Again, I don't have HBO Max. I'm not going to be watching it anyway. But it is set, though, to debut at Christmas, which is crazy, of this year. So we will have more around Christmas time. We'll figure out what's going on with that. A new version of A Tale of Two Cities hits the BBC. We'll get a first look at that. Tachana Arnold, Raven Goodwin, Joshua Swifter, Dawn Lewis, and Glenn Turman are all joining the cast of A Different World, the Netflix reboot. Krispy Kreme Part 2, Super Mario Galaxy, the movie, debuts on Wednesday, and they have a batch of Super Mario donuts now at Krispy Kreme. So pretty good. Remain, I think that's Ryan Gosling also, to be fair. Or is that Jake Gyllenhaal? No, that's Gyllenhaal. Never mind. Remain, which was the M. Night Shyamalan romance, supernatural romance that he's writing with Nicholas Sparks, the romance artist or author, who's releasing the book first in October, and the movie was supposed to come out in December. but has now been shifted to February, which is great right around Valentine's Day. I think it's a good idea to move to February 5th, 2027. It's a good idea. So people are interested to see how that's going to work, but they'll be able to get their first look at it when Nicholas Sparks' Remain comes out in bookstores here, probably within the next couple months. Oh, never too early. Let's skip that real quick. With Harry Potter coming out at Christmas time. And when they said Christmas, people are assuming it'll actually debut on Christmas Day. Jumanji, the next one with The Rock, Jack Black, Karen Gillan, and who am I missing? Chris Tucker. Not Chris Tucker. The black guy. I forget his name. Chris Tucker, though. Anyway, that is originally going to come out around the time of this year of Doomsday and Dune, but they don't want to get wiped up in that, so they moved the new Jumanji movie to Christmas Day also to allow those movies to kill each other out there. So that's been moved to Christmas. So a lot of stuff happening on Christmas here. Speaking of going back to the moon, a new crater was formed on the moon after being hit by a 225-meter wide asteroid, pretty decent sized one. We get our first look at Taron Egerton's and Charlize Theron's. We actually get a trailer for Apex, their survival film coming out on Netflix here soon. Larry David is back with a new sketch comedy show. Don't care. Fortnite will be getting rid of 3 game modes, including Music Festival and Rocket Racing, and are also laying off 1,000 employees. It's not a good time to be an Epic Fortnite fan. The One Piece live action creator wants to go 12 seasons, but would be okay if it only goes 6 seasons. Speaking of live action anime, My Hero Academia live action is set to begin production this fall. So we'll probably see it sometime next year. For All Mankind, the alternate reality show on Apple Plus TV about how the Russians became the first people to land on the moon. Their 4th season is getting ready to come to debut here soon. They've renewed it for a 5th season and announced that will be the last season of the show. So getting ready to close that. Wagner Moura, which is still one of the best names of an actor ever, is now being looked at to be James Bond's new villain. I can't think of a better person. He was just Oscar nominated in The Secret Agent, and it sounds like a good idea to do that. The spinoff of John Wick, Kane, is set to begin filming next month. In Baltimore, there's an exotic cereal bar where you can get any kind of cereal you want. Spiders the size of human hands are starting to appear across the United States. Cocaine sharks are back. Sharks that ingest cocaine that was dropped into the ocean by drug dealers who don't want to get caught with it. Sharks have been ingesting it. They've also been discovered to be ingesting caffeine and painkillers, which have also been starting to get dumped in the ocean as well. So that's wonderful. The Koreans, a reimagining of The Americans, is set to come out here soon with Lee Byung-hun from the Squid Game and Han Ji-mei to star. So they're doing a Korean version of The Americans. That's pretty cool. Sports ball time. The Seattle Seahawks, who are the Super Bowl champions, will be kicking off the NFL season on Wednesday. First time a football game has been played on a Wednesday in regular season without being COVID-related. Set to debut on Wednesday, September 9th, because it's usually on Thursday, but they have to make room for the first ever game in Melbourne, Australia, between the 49ers and the Rams. It's a 17-hour difference, so they'll be playing at 10:35 a.m. on Friday in Melbourne, and it'll be airing at 8:35 p.m. on Thursday here in the United States. So we'll see how that goes, but that is coming out the next day on the 10th. So then the regular football season then hits the September 12th. So, so we'll see how that all goes about. Stephen Colbert, who is one of the world's biggest Lord of the Rings fans. Talks about Lord of the Rings all the time on his show. Knows everything about Lord of the Rings because he's read the book so many times. Well, he got screwed over, as we all know, by the pedophile in chief. And so he'll be losing his show in May. But have no fear. He has already signed up for his next job. Peter Jackson has asked him to co-write a new Lord of the Rings film that will be starting production after the Gollum Search for Gollum movie, which is going to come out next year. And what Colbert did is brilliant, actually. What he did is what he pitched to Peter Jackson, when Peter Jackson asked him if he wanted to do this. He pitched that Peter Jackson was unable to do everything that was in Fellowship of the Ring. So there is a big swath of chapters that they just cut out completely from the original movie. And so Stephen Colbert, what he wants to do is he wants to make a movie that follows the movies and not the books necessarily. So what he's going to do is he's setting his movie 14 years after Return of the King, taking the swath of about 6 or 7, 8 chapters, 6, 7, 8 chapters of Fellowship of the Ring that includes the Tom Bombadil stuff, and then moving it to 14 years later with Samwise Gamgee's daughter in the role of probably Frodo. So we're going to get we'll get stuff that was in Fellowship, and Colbert will figure out a way to let it fit into the timeline properly. And he really talked about Tom Bombadil, so that's great as well. We'll see him eventually too. So I think that's a great idea about him doing that, and we'll see when that comes out. The Gollum movie doesn't come out until 2027, supposedly. I don't think they even started filming it yet, so they better start getting on that soon. And then this one, as I said, hasn't even been written yet. He's not going to start writing it probably till this summer. They probably go into production till maybe the fall. So we're probably not going to see it till 2029, probably at the earliest. Speaking of the Southern Hemisphere, Antarctica is entering their winter. They're actually in their fall right now. But it's getting colder. And it's getting so cold that this week it hit negative 105 degrees Fahrenheit in Antarctica, which is the second coldest reading on Earth ever, and the coldest March day in history. Negative 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Jesus Christ. That's probably colder or as cold as some of the planets in our solar system. Crazy, man. Anniversaries. Dolores Claiborne debuted 31 years ago this week. The film, not the novel. The Outsiders debuted 43 years ago this week. Cagney and Lacey premiered 44 years ago this week. Deaths are Ronnie Bowman, a bluegrass musician, passed away. Kevin DiCecco, the creator of Air Bud, passed away. I don't even know what that was. Chip Taylor, songwriter, Angel of the Morning and Wild Thing, 2 real big songs. He passed away this week. And Barry Caldwell, an animated storyboarder, passed away this week as well. I got about a page and a half left here, so it's probably going to be an early evening here for all y'alls. It is now officially March 29th. It is officially Palm Sunday. Holy Week actually does not start until Palm Sunday Mass ends, so it's not quite there yet, but we're almost there. We got our first new poster for Euphoria Season 3, set to debut April 12th. Our boy Joe Flacco has signed a 1-year deal with the Bengals. He played with them last year, then was a free agent, just signed another 1-year deal with them, so we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of Project Hail Mary, Rocky became a huge popular character. They've now created a plush version of him that'll be available on April 16th. You can pre-order it now. Not exactly sure where, but somewhere. Starting on March 31st, K-pop Demon Hunters will be taking over McDonald's with a bunch of K-pop Demon Hunter meal plans, stuff like that. Could be really good, and toys and stuff like that. So really cool. Two stories that I'm just like, really? A Brooklyn Nine-Nine reboot is eventually maybe in the works. It was just someone mentioned something like that. I just don't think it's going to happen. Andy Samberg himself says they really can't do anything without Andre Braugher, who passed away a couple of years ago. So there's really no discussion, I think, of it yet. But someone mentioned the possible reboot. I don't see that come out soon. But this one is coming out. Logan Lerman and Emily Bader are set to star in a reboot of 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Garner producing. It's like, do we really need a remake of 13 Going on 30? It's a great film. Does not need to be remade. Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo and Judy Greer were perfect in it. And we don't, and also Andy Serkis was great in it also. We don't need another one. But here we are. And Jennifer Garner's producing it. So, yay. We got our first look at the Dregs. At Newborn with David Oyelowo. The Dregs is a new film that casts Stephen Lang, Shohara Agudishlu, and Piper Carudin. 71 Minutes is Jason Reitman is producing a thriller set in real time with a supernatural twist about a guy who has 71 minutes to get away from somebody before the sun rises. And with the supernatural twist, he's probably a vampire. Signal One, Isabel Furman, Josh Hutcherson sci-fi movie is upcoming. Mashahara Ali is set to join Task with Mark Ruffalo in season 2. Nobody Wants This season 3 has started production. We got a new trailer for The Sheep Detective set to debut May 8th. Still looks like another great film, which I forgot on my list also. So pretty decent summer coming up here. April 6th, the day after Easter, we are getting Dirty Mountain Dew, which is a cream soda version of Mountain Dew. S'mores Oreos are back starting this week, I think. A Hannah Montana secret refresher is available at Starbucks. Honey Graham latte ice cream from Ben & Jerry's sounds interesting. Jurassic Park was voted as being the most rewatchable movie of all time. I don't disagree with that. Kirsten Dunst is set to join the Housemaid sequel with Sydney Sweeney. So that's another good pairing, I think. Good pair for Sydney Sweeney. Should say that. A Quiet Place 3, set to debut July 30th, 2027. Emily Blunt and Cillian Murphy are set to return. Don't know if John Krasinski is directing, but I know that a third one is in the works. Caroline, Samara Weaving, and Kyle Guller. It's a romantic crime thriller set to debut June 5th. We got our first look at that in a trailer, I think. Now I'm going to get into some interesting stories that made this week interesting. First up, last week I talked to you about a retired Air Force military guy who was a member of the Wright-Patterson group, which looked at UFOs and stuff like that. He has disappeared, has not been seen for by now 3 weeks now, has been missing forever. Well, a rocket scientist who's been tied to working with him has also disappeared. So a lot of weird, crazy shit going on. So we're not exactly sure what's happening with that. This is straight out of could be a potentially Pixar film or a Disney film. 7 dogs were stolen from their owners in China and were being transported to a food factory where I guess they were going to be turned into food. The dogs escaped and found their way back home, which was many, many, many miles away from where they were, and they survived. Corgi led the way, and a German Shepherd was injured, was protected by the other dogs also, make sure they all came back together. No one was left behind, and it's a really cool story. And here's local flavor, and only in Baltimore this could happen. It's almost our version of Florida Man. A 27-year-old quadruple amputee, meaning he has no arms or legs. He's also a pro cornhole player, which I still don't understand how he did that without any arms or legs. is accused of fatally shooting a man and driving away with the body. A quadruple amputee. Now, I'm not trying to be ableist or whatever. I don't understand how they can do that. How he was able to be a cornhole professional, how he can shoot somebody, how he can drive a car. I'm sure there's probably ways they can, but that's just a wild story, man. And it's true. It's not an Onion story or anything like that. And it's local. It's Maryland. So it's crazy, man. Anniversaries, Heartbreakers with Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sigourney Weaver, Gene Hackman, and Ray Liotta debuted 25 years ago this week. Jason Lee's in there as well. The Hunger Games debuted 14 years ago this week. Police Academy debuted 42 years ago this week. Troop Beverly Hills debuted 37 years ago this week. The Godfather offer can't refuse. That was terrible, man. 54 years old this week. Deaths, Terry Cox, drummer of Pentangle, passed away. Anna Marie Cool, a comic artist, passed away. And Valerie Perrine, the original Miss Tessmacher from the Superman movies, and I believe she was in the Cannonball Run, passed away this week. Let's take a look and see if I can find any other things we might know her from. Hi, Pepper. Are you going to jump on me again and hurt me? You made an appearance yet on the show. She was in the movie version of Slaughterhouse-5, The Last American Hero, Lenny, Superman, obviously, Superman 2, The Cannonball Run. Hello there, Pepper. Boiling Point. What Woman Want. So that's all she was involved with that. And TV, just TV movies and one-offs here and there. Oh, she's an episode of Northern Exposure. That's right. She was Jackie Van Court. She was Holling's daughter. That's right. I forgot about that. Hi, Pepper. She was also an episode of Homicide Life on the Street. How about that? She was in ER. The Nash Bridges, The Practice, Third Watch. So, yeah, bud. Let's see if we get another picture of us again. Mm-hmm. You do not bite me. You do not bite me when I'm doing the show. So that was not very nice. Now, Mr. Pepper or Dr. Pepper was not. So there's that. Ooh, we're gonna finish up about an hour in. All right. It's interesting. Movie called Deep Cuts has added Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gabby Hoffman, Quintessa Swindell, and Eva Baker Ali. Gabby Hoffman's having quite of a renaissance. She was a young child actor and then sort of disappeared. Now she's mentioned her earlier already. She's in another movie here, and here she is again. Then we get our first look at The Rock as Maui in the live-action Moana. We also get the trailer for that. It's really weird looking at him with full set of hair, but it's great that he's reprising the role that he did in the actual film, animated film. Krispy Kreme Part 3, they're doing Easter donuts, so you got those just in time for Easter as well. A remake of the horror film Ghost Ship is in the works. Alfonso Cuarón is in talks to direct Playground with Timothée Chalamet, who's still a douchebag. Project Hail Mary has made $140 million last week worldwide. It made an additional $52 million this week, so it is a certified hit. Made 80-some million opening here in the United States, so it's made about $130 million in the United States alone. Actress Kristen Ritter, who plays Jessica Jones, wrote a novel called Retreat, and it got picked up for a TV adaptation, which she will be producing and starring in. So there you go. Sri Lanka is going to a 4-day work week due to the current oil shortage that's going on because of the pedophile in charge. The Whisper Man is a film popping up on Netflix sometime this year. They don't have a date for it yet. I think I talked about this before, but I'm amazed by this cast. I think the big news about this was it's set to come out sometime this year, so we'll be able to see it on Netflix. But Robert De Niro, Michael Keaton, Michelle Monaghan, Adam Scott, John Carroll Lynch, Hamish Linklater, Owen Teague, and Axton Luca Porto is a great cast here. So that's kind of interesting to see all that. Before we get to the last story of the week, anniversaries. Us debuted 7 years ago this week. Porky's Revenge debuted 41 years ago this week. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning debuted 41 years ago this week as well. Blade 2 debuted 24 years ago this week, and Racing with the Moon debuted 42 years ago this week. Deaths, Leo Radvinsky, owner of OnlyFans, passed away. Carrie Ann Fleming, an actress who was appeared in iZombie and Supernatural, passed away. And Mark Desale, a martial artist who was the creator of such movies as Kickboxer, Bloodsport, and The Perfect Warrior, has passed away as well. All right, so before we get to the last story of the week and try to push this to an hour, this week, as I said, it is now Palm Sunday is today, and it's the beginning of Holy Week. Easter is next Sunday. My daughter is getting confirmed next Saturday. I think we'll be back in time for me to do a show on Saturday. And I am off on Friday for Good Friday. Maybe I'll just do the show on Friday. And because I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I will be doing a show this weekend. I should in time for Easter. So we'll see what happens. It's crazy how fast Easter has hopped up here. I really honestly have not gotten much for the family yet. I don't think we've even gotten candy for them. And I'm not even sure if I really want to hide the Easter Bunny hide the baskets together. I mean, they're both getting older. They're all getting older. I don't know if I want to take my mom to my in-laws' house this year for Easter because it's a long day. And also, I don't know how it's going to work out because my daughter her school doesn't close for Easter. She's got to go back to school on Monday, as does my niece, Kylie. So I don't know if she's even going to be here. She's all the way up in Pennsylvania. So I don't even know. And I don't even know if my nephew's going to be here either. So it's going to be a weird Easter, I think. So we'll see how that goes. But I will be doing a show next week. Just don't know when. Excuse me. So look for it sometime next week. That's all I got to say. All right, here we go. Last story of the week. Corinne Varian is set to join the cast of Death of a Diplomat, a new series, which was written and produced by the former First Lady of Iceland. So the former First Lady of Iceland has written a new thriller TV, I'm assuming TV series, and we got our first cast member in it. So that's kind of interesting. All right, that's it for today. What was that? You okay, kid? Where were you even? Are you all right, Pep? That was very loud. I guess I'll search for you after the show. All right. See y'all later. Didn't quite make the hour, but I am going to shut down now. Thanks.